2023 is upon us. There's a lot to look forward to this year, including a brand new world tour by Depeche Mode and including a new album, Memento Mori. Let the discussion begin. Hello and welcome to you, my friend, wherever you may be in the world. I hope 2023 has had a good start, and I'm sure this is going to be a great year for you and your family and your loved ones. Before we jump into today's content, I just want to make a quick VG shout out. That is the 5-track EP entitled 1984, a follow-up body of work to last year's Dark Society album, released January the 27th. So, a Depeche Mode album is long overdue. Now, if we look at their early chronology, it was kind of like an album every year. It was 81, then it was 82, and then 83, and then typically between Depeche Mode albums of late, there's been a 4-year gap, and that's obviously to accommodate the tour, the pre-production, and, for them to live their lives and everything. Of course, now, since the shitstorm of 2020, which was COVID and all the other madnesses that hit the world, it has delayed everything. But finally, we seem to be getting back to some form of normality, and we have got a long-awaited new album, Memento Mori. Last year, we sadly lost Andy Fletcher, which was a huge shock, a devastating blow to the Depeche Mode family, the community. But the show must go on, as we say. And we are looking forward to the new album. I'm a little bit nervous. As you guys know, I was really disappointed with Spirit. But I was pleasantly optimistic when I heard some of the previews to the opening track, which Ghosts Again. And you can check out that video here, where I talk about my feelings on that. So, if that is anything to go by, we might get maybe an album that is slightly more paying homage to kind of the roots. However, I've often said about Depeche Mode is they are very, very unpredictable. You only need to look through their chronology and their albums. Typically, every time Depeche Mode released a single, there was always a bit of shock value to it. And you can talk about Personal Jesus, Barrel of a Gun. There's always this wow kind of factor, even with songs like I Feel You and stuff like that. Certainly, I have said that, I feel that, if they were to, just give us another album. You don't need to push that whole innovation thing again. Just focus on putting out a sincere album and forget about being innovative and all that crap. Just do what you do, guys. And so far from what I heard from the Ghosts Again, it was kind of like a nod to the past, and I kind of liked it. Of course, people had their opinions on it, divided. A lot of people didn't like it, a lot of people did. And so what? That is what it is. Let's talk a little bit about the tour that's coming up now. I've been reading on a lot of forums. I've also been getting a lot of inbox messages, and emails and stuff, people asking my opinions on certain things. And one of the subjects that is, quite a talking point, certainly was late last year, was the ticket prices, with a lot of people saying that the ticket prices are extortionate, and some people even going as far as to say that, oh no, the band is selling out, and oh Dave and Martin, you're stitching us up. And whoa, I just have to say, before you have a go at our beloved Dave and Martin, just understand that when it comes to ticket prices, that is not something that is directly related to the band. I'm no expert on shows and booking agents and things like that, but I do think that a lot of the blame can be pointed at the booking agents and things like that, because these are the people wanting to make some money, as as we all do in business. In fact, this is probably a subject for another video. We can talk all about ticket prices and what is a fair ticket price, and I think it's quite challenging because, as I say, this does warrant another video in itself. If we look at how music technology and the way music has been presented over the last decade or 2 decades, really, with the advent of MP3 and digital, and also with not being able to sell music, that has been the reason why ticket prices have gone up so much. Also, the reason why artists have to rely on back catalogs, sponsorships, and things like that. As I say, we could actually do an in-depth video on that. But just coming back to the Depeche Mode ticket prices, yes, I have seen some of the ticket prices are extortionate. Some of them, like golden circles and things like that. But hey, man, this is the world we live in. You can point a finger. I mean, I'm always having a go at footballers. I'm not a fan of football. And it always annoys me that, some footballers get paid £500,000 a week for kicking a fucking ball. But then again, that's not their fault. That's just the way the world is, in every vocation, top rock stars, top footballers. That's just the world we live in. You can blame the capitalist system and blah, blah, blah. This can spiral into another video altogether. But just coming back to ticket prices, my God, we're really going off topic. Let's pay homage to the off-topic chicken. Yeah, I know, we haven't seen the off-topic chicken for a while. I've been quite good at not going off-topic recently, but I am back to my old ways. Okay, right, focus. I think also with COVID, with a lot of the entertainment industry being in sort of like dire straits, especially when COVID hit and, we couldn't go to gigs and things like that, it is an industry that is kind of starved. So I think there is this desire to recoup some of the lost revenue and things like that. But I do think there is a point where, what's fair and, what is extortion. And, this band is huge. So let's just look at the reality of, the system that we live in, the capitalist system and the free markets and value. And that is, if people are prepared to pay a certain amount of money for something, it's a supply and demand thing, and if we make it accessible to people and they're prepared to pay it, then, who are other people to argue at that? But I do get the moral dilemma of, what things cost and, what people can afford and, how some people don't have enough and all that. I get that. But looking at this tour, the scale of it, it's going to be pretty much a stadium tour. I don't personally like open air gigs. I know they're great for sort of, vibe and things like that. I do remember in 2017 when I went to see them at Olympic Park here in the UK, here in London. The fact that they came on at about 9 o'clock and the sun was still shining, so you lose a lot of the atmosphere, the sort of visual impact. But of course, it's made up for that with the atmosphere and the fact that there's so many people and a big celebration. I just don't really like gigs that are that big, because you get to a point where you're standing so far back and that's Dave gone. Oh, that's Martin, really? Yeah, it could be anyone. So I always prefer smaller gigs. But once again, there is the demand for this band, and this is the thing. I would personally, fanboy, I would have loved to see them play smaller venues and, return to some of the, the classical songs. But then again, that's just that's not the real world. So, Memento Mori, what do we think so far? As I say, you can check out the video. I've spoken about that. Some people are a bit cynical about it. I'm a little bit kinder, because as I said, I was really brutal on their last album. And I just said, I'm just happy to have the boys there and doing it again. So, I'm a little bit more gentle on them, because as I said on my Memento Mori reaction video, I said that, look, guys, you've done some amazing stuff. You are the reason I do what I do, and so many countless other producers do what they do, and you've enriched so many people's lives. So, you've done your time. So I guess I'm going to be a little bit less critical on them for those reasons. Now, coming on to the live shows, some people have asked me, what do I think of the stage setup? What is it going to look like? And I hate to be cynical, but I think it's going to be pretty much the same as it's been the last 20 years. It's going to be the oversized drum kit with the overplayed drumming, and it's going to have Peter Gaudino's keyboard rig with his digital piano at the bottom, and you're going to have Martin's keyboard rig, and you're going to feel the empty space of not seeing Fletch. And I don't think it's really hit home with us. I can promise you, my friend, I think it's going to really hit home with you when you go to that gig and you're standing there and you're just going to, the fact that Fletch is not there, I think it's really, really going to hit home. Death is a very surreal thing. Not to downplay it, but it is a strange thing, and it does take. I know with grief and people who've lost loved ones, it does take a while sometimes for things to kick in. And without being dramatic, I just think there will be I do think after we go to these gigs, there will be a lot of you, the fans, and I will come back and go, oh my God, Fletch is really not here, because I don't think it's really sunk in, because you only need to go onto the internet now and you can watch a gig, you can watch YouTube videos of Depeche Mode, and you kind of, there's part of your brain when you're watching something that thinks this is happening now, if you know what I mean. I'm getting really philosophical now, and I don't mean to. One of the questions that people also asked me before we got details about the tour was, people said, do you think they will replace Fletch? Will they get someone else to play his keyboard parts, or will there be just an empty space on the stage? And that is a good question. It's something I pondered on a lot, because I thought, if you put someone on the stage to play Fletcher's keyboard parts, it's very difficult, because this person is essentially standing where Fletch is standing, so that wouldn't feel right. Also, there was another part of me that thought, if you just don't replace Fletch and you just have a space there, isn't that sort of undermining his importance by sort of saying, oh, well, he didn't do much, so we don't need to replace him? So that was a bit of a dilemma in my mind. However, there was an interview that I saw with Dave, where Dave was a little bit, maybe it's the old age creeping in. He's just pretty direct. He said something about one of his friends saw him at a gig and said to him afterwards, like, that geezer in the front, meaning Fletch, oh, what does he do? And Dave kind of suggested in this interview, the interview is floating out there somewhere, he suggested something like, it wasn't said like this, but it was kind of suggested that, he didn't do much anyway. So I think for Depeche Mode to decide between, okay, do we get a session player to play Fletcher's parts, or do we just not have anyone on there? I think this is probably a better decision, because I think it would be quite difficult for someone to be standing there playing Fletcher's parts thinking, I'm playing Fletcher's parts and Fletch is not here. And of course, then I said earlier on, by not having someone there, you're basically undermining the importance of Fletch on stage, meaning, okay, well, he's not here, we don't need to replace him. You know what I mean? Anyway, with technology these days, without getting off topic, as I do, I mean, if you look at like other electronic duos like Erasure or, Pet Shop Boys, where they're just two people on stage, you don't really need that many keyboard players on stage. I mean, so how they're gonna handle it now is, I should think that Peter Gaudino will obviously do a lot more. He's a very competent keyboardist, although he obviously only has two hands. I think a lot of the parts that Fletch contributed, and there weren't many, let's face it, those Fletch parts, I should think, will be on the backing track. But I'm really gutted about the Fletch thing, and it's we don't want to bang on about it. Let's not get philosophical here. But we all die. It's just that it's like that song that Brian May sang about Freddie Mercury when Freddie Mercury died at only 45 years old. The song goes, one by one, only the good die young. And it's losing people, and death is, it's sad. But the sad thing is when someone is taken too soon. And that certainly was the case with Fletch. Okay, I'm getting all depressing and somber here. I don't mean to. So that's it really, my friend. I just wanted to make a quick video. Yeah, my videos are never quick. Regarding the tour and the ticket prices and things like that. So let the discussion begin. Leave your comments below. Which gig are you going to? Let me know where you're going to be. I might bump into you there. I'd love to meet as many of you as what I possibly can. I'm probably going to go to the gig in London, and I'm possibly going to the one in Tallinn, in Estonia, but that's not set in concrete yet. Let me know which gig you're going to, and anything you want to say about the performance, the lineup. What do you think the stage setup's going to be like? Anything you want to say, and also ticket prices. Let me know. What have you paid? Do you think the ticket prices are fair? Whatever. Let's get the discussion going. If you are a Depeche Mode fan, please do hit that subscribe button, because this is the channel to be if you are a Depeche Mode fan. If you are a fan of my Depeche Mode album review series, please note that the Songs of Faith and Devotion album review series has started, and you can watch that exclusively on my video on demand site called watchvg.com. The link is in the description below. It is a members only subscription site. Check it out, and I'm sure you will find it a really, really inviting and welcome place to be. I set that up because I wanted a platform where I could present the content in a way that I could present it without all the red tape associated with YouTube and all the advert breaks and things like that. And it was also necessary for me to do that in order to sustain this channel financially moving forward. So check it out. You got any questions, give me a shout. Leave your comments below. Lots of love. Grateful to you as always. And I will see you on the next video. Adios.